Welcome, everybody. Thanks for joining us on Monday Morning Consciousness Transformation Technique Meditation. It's Mr. Reality, joined by 75 of our closest friends and psychic medium Liz Cross and somebody walking by. Hi, Liz.
Thank you. If I mute myself again, will it allow me to unmute?
Yes.
Okay, because I'm like coughing and spluttering over here. Okay, great. Thank you so much, everybody. So look, we do some CTT sessions on the weekend, very intense CTT sessions, and I really appreciate you guys allowing me to share the information that we get. Now, when I say that you all are working, I know you're doing your thing here, right, for yourselves, but working in a group is really powerful because I'm going to be honest with you. We are a great group. We have some really broken people in our group, right? Some people that are really, really struggling, and come hell or high water, they're here every Monday. Okay. So let me go into what we got over the weekend. Now, there's somebody in our group. I'm not even going to start on the names or anything like that. She's a fantastic person, and she's got a drug problem. Okay, a major drug problem. And we actually got a lot of information when we did a CTT session before. If you remember, when somebody has an addiction, and the brain has to survive, right? That the function of the brain, as we're starting to know more, really is about absolute survival. Okay, and that's what we're wired for, absolute survival. And as we learn, when you get into like addictive behaviors, and especially substance abuse, whether it's alcohol or drugs or whatever, when you start to uh, detox from those things, you remove the substance, your body goes into withdrawals. I'm sure most of you know this. And withdrawals can be so severe it can kill you. So what her brain actually does, and this is what I'm just recapping this from an earlier session, and what her brain actually does is, and most people's brains, if you are going to suffer like major withdrawals for whatever reason, right? The brain just starts shutting all systems off, okay? And then it goes on autopilot. So next thing you know, you're in the car, you're driving to get drugs, right? You don't want to. You don't want drugs. You don't want to spend the money. You don't want to see the people. You don't want to do it, right? But you're doing it. And you don't even know why. And you can't stop because the brain shuts down all rational thought at that point, right? So you're on your way, you're buying the drugs, you go back home, you do the drugs, and then you get into this cycle of like, I hate myself, right? Because I can't believe I've done this again. I was trying to detox. I think we need to understand more how the brain works. And a lot of times the brain will just shut, you're in a fight with your brain wiring. So look, this is what we got. Um, she, very interesting girl. She listens to a guy, and I don't know if the rest of you know about him. I haven't had a chance to listen, but she listens to a guy, and I believe his name is Tim Fletcher, and he talks a lot about the brain. And he talks about the limbic system and the cerebral cortex. And that when you are highly traumatized, and I'm just regurgitating what she told me, you guys will have to research it for yourself. I'm sorry I haven't had an opportunity this weekend. I was doing sessions all weekend. So basically, when you're highly traumatized, you start making decisions out of the limbic system and not the cerebral cortex, right? So people that are living in survivor mode, right? That survival mode, that your decisions are from your limbic system. So her session she wanted to do was, I want to tap into why I make decisions from my limbic system and not my cerebral cortex. Because if you're making decisions from the cerebral cortex, presumably you are making better decisions. You're analyzing, you're critically thinking. But for her, she makes decisions from the limbic system. Now, we've gone into her childhood highly traumatizing, right? And so what we found when we got into her session, that we had to pick through, we're peeling off the layers just like we do on a Monday, right? We're doing rounds. And at the root cause of all of her decisions in the limbic system was, I'm dead on the inside, right? So that was really shocking to all of us, because with her conscious mind is like, I want to live a healthy life. I don't want to be on drugs. I'm trying to get off of this stuff. And I mean, I'm not talking about the light stuff here, folks. I'm talking about heavy, very highly addictive, chemically made drugs, right? I don't want to live like this. But the decisions are not being made with the conscious mind and the cerebral cortex, right? The decisions are being made with the limbic system. And if the limbic system says, I'm dead on the inside, well, of course you're going to make all these bad decisions. And I'll go one even further. So, of course, when you're around other people that do drugs, they're very unsavory characters. This person is also in a domestic violence situation. It's not 24/7, thank God, because she'd probably be dead by now, right? But occasionally, this bloke turns up, or this guy turns up, and they do drugs together, and next thing you know, he flies off the handle and he's choking her. And you have to understand, she's very slight, right? She's very slight. And what happens is it starts out verbal, and where most of us, when we're receiving the verbal abuse or whatever it is that's going on, we sit there and we're really like taken aback by it, right? Because it's pretty bad, the abuse. And what happens is, it doesn't phase her. It doesn't phase her at all. Even to the point where he is choking her, she doesn't even react. Whereas most of us would scream or, panic or want to get help or whatever, she doesn't even react because she's dead on the inside, right? So we had to get like this, tapping script together. We had to tap out, I'm dead on the inside. And hopefully, with some really diligent tapping, she will be able to flip the script and start making decisions from the cerebral cortex, which means, which is totally the opposite to I'm dead on the inside, right? But it's going to take a lot of work. So why am I telling you all this? Okay, I'm telling you this because maybe, just maybe, sometimes we are too reactive to situations. In fact, I think I had someone ask me a question the other week about, why am I always making decisions in survival mode? Well, this will be why. Because you're making decisions from the limbic system due to untold amounts of trauma, as opposed to the cerebral cortex. So, what if we started doing something like easily and joyfully manifest the optimum ability to make decisions from our cerebral cortex as opposed to the limbic system, so that we are making better decisions. Now, that's going to take a long time to flip that around, especially for someone who is so highly traumatized. But I just thought that that was a really interesting tidbit of information that we got, right? Of course, you have to get to the root cause of that limbic system, and you have to peel off the layers as to why you're making the decisions that you're making. Now, the other thing that we found out, senior manifester. Everybody give him a wave. Hi, because he's listening. He's listening. And he's in a warm climate. Aren't you so lucky? All year round. Senior Manifestor, we get into his session and willpower comes out. Willpower is something that you have to have in order to manifest and make your life better, right? So then, of course, I always look at the people at the top, right? So who are we looking at? We're looking at Musk, Gates, Bezos, Trump, billionaires, Buffett, all those guys at the top, okay? And whether you love them or hate them, by the way, if you hate them because they have money, you'll never have money. I'll just go ahead and tell you, if you hate people that have money simply because they do have money, not for what they do. Yeah, okay, I'm not saying people aren't corrupt at the top because they are, right? But if the basis of you hating them is the fact that they have money, or power, okay, you will never have money and you will never be empowered. I'm just letting you know because basically, if the universe is trying to hand you something and you say, oh, I don't like people with money, guess what you're not going to get? Money. Right? I don't like people that are in power. Now, if you don't like people that abuse power, that's a totally different definition, right? But if you don't like people in power in general, guess what? Guess what you're not going to get from the universe? You're not going to get empowered, right? It's very hard. So I would flip that mindset if I was you guys. I know most of you hear me say this a lot, but I can't stress it enough. So willpower, we look at the guys at the top and guess what they have? On a scale of 0 to 10, how great is their willpower? Well, it's like at a 9, right? It's really, really high, meaning no matter what, we are unstoppable. Okay. Now, does that mean that they have a filter? No. Does it mean they're not narcissists? No. Does it mean that that they make all the right decisions? Not always, no. But what it does mean, come hell or high water, you better get out of their way because they're going to do what they want to do when they want to do it, right? Very strong-willed. And that willpower is essential to manifesting. It minimizes trauma. And I was like, how does it minimize trauma? Well, okay, love him or hate him. If you look at Trump, okay, love him or hate him, that doesn't matter. But you have to look at him as the person he is, right? For the person he is. He got hit with lawsuits, didn't phase him. He got hit with a bullet, didn't phase him, right? He got tried to take down by the media, didn't phase him. Everything that everybody tries to do, Musk, oh, he did a Nazi salute or whatever, didn't phase him. He doesn't care, right? Um, you have to see where these people are coming from. And that's why they are so empowered, and that is why they have a lot of money because most of us are trying to manifest money, right? That's the basis of most of our manifestations. They have the willpower to do so. They nothing gets in their way when they're trying to manifest, okay? Like they're going to create something, they have that willpower. Now, the other thing that we got is that it minimizes our ability to be traumatized, meaning that when you have such a strong will and you get hit with like lawsuits and you get hit with like whatever it is in the media and you get hit with whatever it is, right? Maybe you lose your job, maybe you have an argument, right? Does that stop these people? Do they sit there and live in victimization? And do they sit there and say, poor me, I'm going to stop what I'm doing because I'm in this predicament, blah, blah, blah. No, no, not at all, right? What it does is it makes them stronger and they see it as a positive opportunity, right? I'm going to show them. Okay, so that's another thing that willpower does. Willpower also, when you want to, put it on the micro level, which is, oh, I ate that cupcake because I love cupcakes, right? So, oh, I ate that cupcake. Now I feel terrible. Why do I feel terrible? Because I didn't have enough willpower to resist it. And now I've self-sabotaged myself. Now I'm feeling traumatized because I gave in, right? So that's another way willpower minimizes trauma. It also is able to expand consciousness, and it's amazing what willpower can do. So what can you do if you have very weak willpower? Well, you can use the CTT, and you can say there's a part of me that knows how to easily and joyfully manifest the optimum ability to make my willpower stronger. Whatever words you want to use, the part of my being is willing to inform the rest of me now. Willpower is essential with dealing with life on the earth plane, right? I need to get more, and I'm sure most people do as well. Okay. And lastly, what we got over the weekend, and I'm trying to condense this as much as possible. But lastly, what we got is going back to our girl with our lady with the drug addiction, right? The problem is, and Senior Manifesto was quizzing this. This is how we came up with this information. As souls, when we're making these contracts, right? We do not understand the inner workings of the brain and the body. We just know that a body is created for us to go reside in, right? We do not we're not concerned about how the brain works. We're not concerned about the brain wiring. We're not concerned about how it affects us. So we're up there making all these traumas in our timeline, right? Oh, yeah, give me this and give me some of that. Yeah, I'll have some of this and that. Yeah, lay it on thick. Get me good at this time in my life. Okay. Right? And I know, because everything has to really stem from the childhood. Let's lay it on thick in the childhood without realizing that these brain wirings are so powerful. The body that we have to live in is the brain is so powerful that it can trap us. And now we're in a fight against the brain wiring. And I'll tell you, a lot of people can't get past that fight, right? It is so powerful, just like our lady, or anybody who has an addiction or feels trapped or is stuck in this like victimhood or stuck in this depression, right? That is all a brain wiring issue. And we as souls, we don't understand that. We just know we got a body to go live in, what it's going to look like, how it's going to perform, is it going to serve as well? Is it not? Right? If souls understood how the brain actually works and what we do to it causes the brain to wire a certain way, and now we're fighting against the wiring. I mean, we're not even fighting against ourselves here, as in, if you think about the wiring is completely separate, we're fighting against the soul and what the soul has laid out for us, but now we're fighting against this brain wiring. So what we got from that is, again, I look at the people at the top, right? I look at the people at the top. They are my go-to. And I ask them, how many of you understand how the brain wiring works and how the body works? And how many of you get that? And all of them got it. All of them understood on a soul level how the brain works and how the body works and how the brain wiring works. Now, apparently, from that line of questioning, Senior Manifester, there is a class up in the spirit world that teaches you all this, but most souls are like, yeah, don't need that. I'm not really worried about that. But these guys and girls at the top, right? They went to that class and they understood exactly how the brain wiring works on a soul level. So guess what? They took that information on board and they made it so, yes, we're traumatized to be motivated, right? Because trauma can severely motivate you. Okay. We're traumatized to be motivated, but we're not traumatized to be trapped, right? And so that's another message we have to send into our soul. We have to send into the soul that the brain wiring is important and that the soul has to understand the brain wiring and it has to understand how it works, and that making these really big traumas to come down here on the earth plane, it's not working out so well because we're fighting the brain wiring, and we can't seem to get ahead in our soul journey because it all looks so easy. Who cares? We just got a body, but we can't seem to get ahead because we're being held back by our brain. Okay, so that was the last thing that we got. Well, we got a bunch more, but I can't go into it now because we'll run out of time. So there you go. I hope that gives you something. I tried to give you all something that is, helpful in the spiritual path, in the spiritual journey, and hopefully that will help you. But anyway, so today, I thought we could work on sending the information of understanding how to strike a balance to not over traumatize the body and brain to the point that it produces a response that is negative, a negative response to the trauma, right? So we'll figure it out. So as always, we're going to start. Once we start, do not leave. Please, I beg you, do not leave. If you leave, we can't be responsible for what happens to you because we're getting rid of energy. Now you're going to have holes in your energy field, and dark energy moves faster than light energy. So you will have to make sure that you put in the light like we do at the end, okay? And that should be your go-to protocol anytime you do any other healing like QHHT, BQH, Reiki, anything like that where they're removing energy. The practitioner probably doesn't even know that they have to fill in the space. I want you to go to your CTT closing protocol and I want you to fill in the space for yourself. Okay. I don't care what the practitioner says. Oh, I don't know about that. Okay. Well, that's fine. But I do. Right. So you fill in the space. All right. And secondly, if you are prone to seizures, if you are prone to seizure activity, you've predisposed, you seizure medicate, do not do the CTT. It's highly stimulating to the brain, and you will probably have a seizure. All right, so let's get started, and then we'll figure out the wording for our affirmation. All right, because this is the affirmation tail ender process. All right, let's go. There's a part of all of us that knows how to
There is a part of all of us that knows how to
easily and joyfully manifest
easily and joyfully manifest
an optimum etheric pyramid,
an optimum etheric pyramid,
as well as
as well as
an optimum etheric Faraday cage
an optimum etheric Faraday cage
for the empowerment and protection
for the empowerment and protection
of each one of us.
of each one of us.
That part of our beings are willing to inform the rest of us now.
That part of our beings are willing to inform the rest of us now.
It's doing so now with unlimited love, grace, and ease.
It is doing so now with unlimited love, grace, and ease.
Our minds, bodies, and spirits are receiving the love,
Our minds, body, and spirit are receiving the love,
healing, information, permission,
healing, information, permission,
and deep relief now.
and deep relief now.
So let's take a deep breath, if you can. You could be like me. Information transfer is now complete.
The information transfer is now complete.
So be it, it is done.
So be it, it is done.
And if you're confused about where you're supposed to be, you're supposed to be where Mr. Reality is, okay? I'm leading Mr. Reality. That's where you should be. Okay. Let's go. There's a part of all of us that knows how to
There is a part of all of us that knows how to
easily and joyfully manifest
easily and joyfully manifest
the optimum ability to see,
the optimum ability to see,
recognize,
recognize,
use, and enjoy
use, and enjoy
the treasures in and all around us.
the treasures in and all around us.
That part of our beings are willing to inform the rest of us now.
That part of our beings are willing to inform the rest of us now.
It's doing so now with unlimited love, grace, and ease.
It is doing so now with unlimited love, grace, and ease.
Our minds, bodies, and spirits are receiving the love,
Our minds, body, and spirit are receiving the love,
healing, information, permission,
healing, information, permission,
and deep relief now.
and deep relief now.
So let's take a deep breath. Oh, I can breathe a little bit better on this round. Information transfer is now complete.
Information transfer is now complete.
So be it. It is done.
So be it, it is done.
All right. And the last one, which is the most important one. Again, if you're going to Reiki, if you're going to something else that is an energy healing, without insulting your practitioner, I would still just double down on the protection and I would do this round of opening before you go. Okay? I would. And then of course at the end you're going to do your round of closing. Okay, so this is really important if you're doing any let go and heal work at home. You must open properly. Okay? Very, very important. If you don't, the energy will not be disposed of properly. It will not be taken away. It'll probably go stick in your home and your kids and your dogs and whatever. All right. There's a part of all of us that knows how to
There is a part of all of us that knows how to
easily and joyfully manifest
easily and joyfully manifest
the optimum activation
the optimum activation
of all of our spiritual helpers and divine teams.
of all of our spiritual helpers and divine team.
They will immediately take away any and all negative energy.
They will immediately take away any and all negative dark energy.
They will transport it into the spirit world.
They will transport it into the spirit world.
And they will immediately transmute it
And they will immediately transmute it
into white light positive karma back into the universe.
into white light positive karma back into the universe.
That part of our beings are willing to inform the rest of them now.
That part of our beings are willing to inform the rest of them now.
It's doing so now with unlimited love, grace, and ease.
It is doing so now with unlimited love, grace, and ease.
Our minds, bodies, and spirits are receiving the love,
Our minds, body, and spirit are receiving the love,
healing, information, permission,
healing, information, permission,
and deep relief now.
and deep relief now.
So let's take a deep breath. I'm getting better each round. Information transfer is now complete.
Information transfer is now complete.
So be it, it is done.
So be it, it is done.
All right, so easily, I'm going to type this in here. And again, if you guys, anybody have any questions, I just ask that you don't message me direct, please. Just drop it in the chat. Everybody is exceptionally helpful in this group. We are so, so lucky. Joyfully manifest the optimum, sorry about this, ability to what? Strike a balance so that we do not over traumatize the body and brain to the point that it produces a response that is negative to what? Negative and traps us into inaction. All right. There we go. Right. And this is kind of the information we want to send to the soul as well. Hey, you need to get this, right? I know it's all rosy and cozy from where you're sitting, but hey, okay, let's go. There's a part of all of us that knows how to
There is a part of all of us that knows how to
easily and joyfully manifest
easily and joyfully manifest
the optimum ability
the optimum ability
to strike a balance
to strike a balance
so that we do not over traumatize the body and brain
so that we do not over traumatize the body and brain
to the point that it produces
to the point that it produces
a response that is negative
a response that is negative
and traps us
and traps us
into inaction.
into inaction.
That part of our beings are willing to inform the rest of us now.
That part of our beings are willing to inform the rest of us now.
It's doing so now with unlimited love, grace, and ease.
It is doing so now with unlimited love, grace, and ease.
Our minds, bodies, and spirits are receiving the love,
Our minds, body, and spirit are receiving the love,
healing, information, permission,
healing, information, permission,
and deep relief now.
and deep relief now.
So let's take a deep breath. Information transfer is now complete.
Information transfer is now complete.
So be it, it is done.
So be it, it is done.
Already my crown is buzzing. What did you get?
Uh, I got, you know that carnival game where you take a gun with water and shoot it in the clown's mouth and blow up a balloon? I got that we
Yeah.
just keep getting that balloon bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until it's ready to pop.
Mm, I love that game. I do.
That's what I got.
That's like the best game at the carnival. So right, we just keep traumatizing ourselves, right? So that's the representative of the trauma, the balloon, and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger to the point where, we can't do anything. All we can do is pop, right? We're
Yeah.
inactive. We're no longer processing on the earth plane. We have over traumatized ourselves to the point that we don't even have the brain wiring to process. We are totally we have totally lost the ability to process, right? And that's what happens when you're over traumatized. Yeah. Okay, that was good. So I got anger, dismay, like, and this is coming in from the souls, like, oh yeah, like, why didn't I think of that? Right? So here's the souls. Now they're starting to feel betrayed by the spirit world. Okay. And I can understand that. You can feel betrayed by the spirit world. That is a perfectly normal reaction. And that is what I'm picking up. Like, oh yeah, why didn't they tell us that? Why do we always have to figure everything out the hard way? Right? You those of you that have a kid that only likes to learn the hard, I have one of those. Like it's really difficult, right? Uh, but that's what the souls are doing. The souls are learning the hard way. They don't get an easy ride. And the other thing that we got, sorry, over the weekend was Source wants us to be the best version of ourselves, right? And that is why we go through what we go through. Now, I know some people won't believe that, but if you think about the ultimate rejoining of Source is being reabsorbed back into Source. Well, why would he want something that isn't the best version of itself? That's why all of this stuff is so difficult, right? When you that fragment, which is us, that fragment rejoins Source. It wants you to be the best version, better than ever before, better than what you were than when you were cut. So yeah, we got that very loud and clear. And it does make sense. Okay. So let's keep going. There's a part of all of us that knows how to
There is a part of all of us that knows how to
let go and heal.
let go and heal.
My traumas are out of control.
My traumas are out of control.
They came in too thick and fast.
They came in too thick and fast.
They stacked upon each other. They stacked up,
They stacked up upon one another,
and the layers are impossible to remove.
and the layers are impossible to remove.
I don't even know where to begin.
I don't even know where to begin.
I just feel like I'm going to pop.
I just feel like I'm going to pop.
I am inactive.
I am inactive.
I'm tired of the fight.
I am tired of the fight.
Our souls feel betrayed.
Our souls feel betrayed.
If we had this information, we would have abided by it.
If we had this information, we would have abided by it.
We are feeling resentful.
We are feeling resentful.
Why aren't we given this information?
Why aren't we given this information?
We want to structure our lives better.
We want to structure our lives better.
Why is this so difficult?
Why is this so difficult?
The task is impossible,
The path is impossible,
and I am angry.
and I am angry.
Anything else?
I live in procrastination.
I live in procrastination. Yes, I can't seem to break free from my addictions or habits.
I cannot seem to break free from my addictions or habits.
I cannot break free from my negative self-talk.
I cannot break free from my negative self-talk.
I have no willpower to do so.
I have no willpower to do so.
I don't even know who I am anymore.
I don't even know who I am anymore.
What else?
I cannot resist temptations or distractions.
Ooh, I cannot resist temptations or distractions. I have a phone addiction. That came in. What else?
I live in self-doubt.
I live in self-doubt. Okay, let's finish this one out. That part of our beings are willing to inform the rest of us now.
That part of our beings are willing to inform the rest of us now.
It's doing so now with unlimited love, grace, and ease.
It is doing so now with unlimited love, grace, and ease.
Our minds, bodies, and spirits are receiving the love,
Our minds, body, and spirit are receiving the love,
healing, information, permission,
healing, information, permission,
and deep relief now.
and deep relief now.
So let's take a deep breath. Information transfer is now complete.
Information transfer is now complete.
So be it, it is done.
So be it, it is done.
Okay, this is a question we get frequently. Liz, I'm confused. Shouldn't we be programming ourselves with positive affirmations? We do that at the end, right? Because we are 100% energetic beings. You have to do energy removals. If you listen to the words, let go and heal all of these negatives, so then we can program with the positive. That was a good question. What did you get, Mr. Reality?
Uh, I got this image of putting ice on my forehead to close my third eye. So
I
it's
don't want to
paralyzing
know.
my ability to see.
Well, it's not knowing, right? It's ignorance is bliss. I don't want to know all this information because if I know this information, I'm responsible, right? The more you know, the more responsible you are, the more accountable you are. Those people that just drive around like staring off into the sunset, and they pull out in front of you and they're just like in oblivion, right? Well, they don't know. They're not accountable, right? I don't know where they are. They're in the a bubble. But you know what I mean? Like, by the way, if you ever accidentally cut someone off and they got road rage, you just do that look, right? You just kind of, oh, I'm just in my own bubble. I don't even know what I'm doing or what day of the week it is. And that you're always forgiven immediately. That's your go-to. Don't get in road rage and flip them off and give them the finger or whatever. Just you're in the bubble. You're looking around and you didn't even know you did something wrong. Okay? Because then they're like, oh, they don't even know what day of the week it is. They don't know what they're doing, right? It gets you out every time. Ignorance is bliss. All right, let's go. There's a part of all of us that knows how to
There is a part of all of us that knows how to
let go and heal.
let go and heal.
Not knowing is the best way.
Not knowing is the best way.
When we take on more knowledge,
When we take on more knowledge,
we are more accountable.
we are more accountable.
We are more responsible.
We are more responsible.
We can be blamed.
We can be brave.
Blamed, BLAMED. Sorry, I know I have a cold. I'm sorry. Blamed. We can be blamed.
We can be blamed.
We are now held accountable for all of our actions and decisions.
We are now held accountable for all of our actions and decisions.
We don't want this way of life.
We do not want this way of life.
Not knowing is the best way.
Not knowing is the best way.
What else?
I take on
Again,
other people's trauma.
take on other people's trauma. That distraction is coming in. We distract ourselves so we don't have to be accountable.
We distract ourselves so we do not have to be accountable.
What else?
I want to stay shallow and not have depth.
I want to stay shallow and not have depth. Life is much easier that way.
Life is much easier that way.
My soul, I don't want to hold my soul accountable.
I don't want to hold my soul accountable.
What else?
My addictions silence my worries of the future.
My addiction silence my worries of the future? Yes. Ignorance is bliss. It really is.
Ignorance is bliss.
I don't have to plan and prepare,
I don't have to plan and prepare.
and I don't look back with self-doubt and self-blame.
And I don't look back with self doubt and self blame.
Yeah, that's coming through very strongly. What else?
I like to live only in the moment.
I like to live only in the moment. Somebody will take care of me.
Somebody will take care of me.
I'm just pitiful and vulnerable and a victim.
I am pitiful and vulnerable and a victim.
It's easier for other souls to make contracts on my behalf.
It is easier for other souls to make contracts on my behalf.
Therefore, I am not responsible.
Therefore, I am not responsible.
I can blame them.
I can blame them.
Anything else? That part of our beings are willing to inform the rest of us now.
That part of our beings are willing to inform the rest of us now.
It's doing so now with unlimited love, grace, and ease.
It is doing so now with unlimited love, grace, and ease.
Our minds, bodies, and spirits are receiving the love,
Our minds, body, and spirit are receiving the love,
healing, information, permission,
healing, information, permission,
and deep relief now.
and deep relief now.
So let's take a deep breath. Information transfer is now complete.
Information transfer is now complete.
So be it, it is done.
So be it, it is done.
That was very interesting because I've done CTT sessions where the soul family is making the decisions for the soul that I'm working on. And, they're just, yeah, it's their, I'll let them make all the decisions. And what happens is when other souls are making those decisions for your soul, it's not always in your best interest, right? It's a guessing game. It's not always very good for you. It benefits them greatly, but it doesn't benefit you as much as it should if you were making your own decisions. But then, I guess the soul is like, well, I don't know what to do. This game is really difficult. Some souls really struggle with this. You have to remember this is all just a game. It's a system, right? We just want to learn how to play it well so that we can win, we can go through it, and we can pretty much not be overly traumatized, which is the theme of this session, to the point where we are stuck in, I don't know, hundreds of lifetimes and we can't make it work. Okay, so what did you get?
I saw an image of two cavemen batting each other on the back of the head. So it's like we have never really examined this trauma, this original trauma. We talk about original sin, we talk about original trauma, and I think that carries over into like lifetimes over lifetimes. We just didn't have never had that capacity to examine those original traumas.
Right. And you're exactly right because early man, as we were early man, the brain capacity that we had access to was minimal, right? We've never had access to so much great brain capacity as we do now. And a lot of us are just wasting it. We're not even, we're too busy, like, I don't know, shopping and watching the Kardashians or whatever. You know what I mean? Or smoking weed. And I can't stand drugs, but doing no judgment, but it's just that's me, right? We're too distracted. And this is the one chance. Our brain capacity is really able to expand, but you're exactly right. Now, as we go forward in the future, we have found on many pros with you, Mr. Reality, that our brain capacity is actually shrinking again because we let IT do everything for us and critically think for us as we go way out into the future. And, mark my words, we will be here for that, right? You will reincarnate into that. So you need to send also another message to the soul that, hey, we don't want to get caught up in these distractions. We want to keep expanding our brain capacity. No, that was very good. All right, let's keep going. And I see there's a lot of stuff here in the chat too. There's a part of all of us that knows how to
There is a part of all of us that knows how to
let go and heal.
let go and heal.
We are not using our consciousness
We are not using our consciousness
and our brain capacity
and our brain capacity
to the fullest extent.
to the fullest extent.
We are too distracted.
We are too distracted.
We are easily distracted.
We are easily distracted.
We are still thinking small.
We are still seeking small,
Thinking small.
thinking
We are
small.
not looking at the larger picture.
We are not looking at the larger picture.
What else?
I'm content to be nothing.
I'm content to be nothing. Yeah. I don't matter in this world.
I don't matter in this world.
My contribution is unimportant.
My contribution is unimportant.
I'm just trying to survive.
I'm just trying to survive.
What else?
I let others lead me down their path.
Oh, I let others lead me down their dark paths. What else?
I don't like anyone, including my soul, telling me what to do.
I don't like anyone, including my soul, telling me what to do. I think I'm right all of the time.
I think I'm right all of the time.
My ego gets in the way.
My ego gets in the way.
What else?
I've never recovered from my caveman trauma or woman.
I've never recovered from my caveman or cave woman, cave person trauma. What else?
I'm not allowed to manifest for my soul.
I'm not allowed to manifest for my soul. I am permanently stuck, and I'm okay with that.
I am permanently stuck, and I'm okay with that.
We have made peace with the fact that we cannot manifest.
We have made peace with the fact that we cannot manifest.
I'm going nowhere fast.
I am going nowhere fast.
What else?
This is a life of limitations.
This is a life of limitations. That's what the body is here for.
That's what the body is here for.
I don't know how to live well in this body.
I do not know how to live well in this body.
I did not understand the brain wiring.
I did not understand the brain wiring.
I have a lot to unlearn and relearn.
I have a lot to unlearn and relearn.
I don't think I have enough time
I don't think I have enough time
with all there is to learn out there.
with all there is to learn out there.
Yeah, what else?
I'm only content staring at the abyss that is my future.
I'm only content staring at the abyss. That is my future. My mind is cluttered.
My mind is cluttered.
I don't know where to sort and begin.
I don't know where to sort and begin.
This is painful.
This is painful.
I hoard grudges.
I what?
I hoard grudges. Like, hoarding, it's like we're hoarding grudges. It's clogging up our brain.
I hoard and cannot release the grudges.
Yeah. Yeah. What else?
Everyone else is luckier and more successful than I am.
Everyone else is luckier and more successful than I am. I don't want to be me. What else?
Let's
I
close
like
that.
self-abuse.
I like self-abuse.
It's my best friend.
It is my best friend. Hi, friend.
And bye, friend. See you, see you no time soon. Uh, the part of our beings are willing to inform the rest of us now.
That part of our beings are willing to inform the rest of us now.
It's doing so now with unlimited love, grace, and ease.
It is doing so now with unlimited love, grace, and ease.
Our minds, bodies, and spirits are receiving the love,
Our minds, body, and spirit are receiving the love,
healing, information, permission,
healing, information, permission,
and deep relief now.
and deep relief now.
So let's take a deep breath. Information transfer is now complete.
Information transfer is now complete.
So be it, it is done.
So be it, it is done.
Ooh, I got despair. What did you get?
I got walking on very thin ice
Yeah,
because it's
yeah,
dangerous. Don't do that, by the way.
yeah,
Look for
yeah.
thicker ice.
So somebody brought up a good point here. I think the world needs another Messiah to help bring forth enlightenment. Okay, I think we're moving away from that. We're moving away from needing these saviors. And another thing that we got in the sessions this weekend was self-sufficiency. The source would rather us be
Buy your own
self-sufficient.
chickens.
Right.
Don't complain about
Right.
$12 eggs. Buy your own chickens.
God, is that what they are now?
Well, they're like $6, but
Oh my God. I know they're going up. But yeah, we're source actually, that was just really to start us in this consciousness exploration. But as we go forward, we're not going to have these massive messiahs, right? We may have like little pockets of leadership or little pockets of pointing the finger in the right direction. But actually, Source wants us to be completely 100% self-sufficient. And that is how you expand your consciousness. And that is how you break free of this reincarnation cycle. You've got to be self-sufficient. That, all these little tidbits, but that was an interesting point. So thank you. Okay. What else? What did you get? You got,
walking on thin
sorry,
ice.
walking on thin ice. Yeah. It absolutely is like walking on thin ice. That's what's making these soul contracts and these lifetimes are about, right? And again, this is about striking a balance to the point, yes, we're traumatizing ourselves to keep up the motivation, right? But not traumatizing ourselves to the point of inactivity. So you're right. It is like walking on thin ice. Absolutely 100% correct. It's the balance is difficult. Let's keep going. All right. There's a part of all of us that knows how to
There is a part of all of us that knows how to
let go and heal.
let go and heal.
Striking this balance is like walking on thin ice.
Striking this balance is like walking on thin ice,
When the cracks start to show,
where the cracks start to show.
I don't know which way to turn.
I don't know which way to turn,
So I inevitably fall through
so I inevitably fall through
and I sink.
and I sink.
Self-abuse is the best way and the best thing.
Self-abuse is the best way and the best thing.
I just can't seem to help myself.
I just can't seem to help myself.
I'm stuck in this helpless pit of despair.
I'm stuck in this helpless pit of despair.
I have no direction and no guidance.
I have no direction and no guidance.
I constantly criticize myself
I constantly criticize myself
into inactivity.
into inactivity.
My negative thoughts spiral out of control.
My negative thoughts spiral out of control.
They have more power over me than I have of myself.
They have more power over me than I have over myself.
I just want to get through to the end of this lifetime unscathed.
I just want to get through the end of this lifetime unscathed.
I have nothing to be motivated for.
I've got nothing to be motivated for.
Time is precious.
Time is precious.
I really don't want to waste it trying to achieve goals.
I really don't want to waste it trying to achieve goals.
These goals are unobtainable.
These goals are unattainable.
What else?
I'm constantly pressured to perform.
I'm constantly pressured to perform. Yes, what else?
I'm overwhelmed by chronic stress and a fear of failure.
I'm overwhelmed by chronic stress and a fear of failure. I can never make ends meet.
I can never make ends meet.
I'm always hit with surprises
I'm always hit with surprises,
and not in a good way.
and not in a good way.
What else?
I have to avoid my emotions to prevent being overwhelmed.
I have to avoid my emotions to prevent being overwhelmed. I have no control over them.
I have no control over them.
The only way is to avoid them.
The only way is to avoid them.
And I have to tell you, when I said that, my right ear started burning. What else?
I don't know how to react to trauma.
I don't know how to react to trauma. I was never taught.
I was never taught.
I had to raise myself
I had to raise myself
with very little help and guidance.
with very little help and guidance.
What else?
I have imposter syndrome.
I have imposter syndrome. I've had to dig myself out of a very deep hole.
I had to dig myself out of a very deep hole.
Ooh, that gave me a lot of anxiety and sadness. What else? Well, anxiety and sadness. Yeah.
Anxiety and sadness.
I cannot seem to let it go.
I cannot seem to let it go.
What else?
I revel in procrastination.
I revel in procrastination. Ooh,
My only
all right.
coping is avoidance.
My only coping is avoidance. See, we're all on the same page here. Anything else? My compulsive behaviors are constantly gnawing at me.
My compulsive behaviors are constantly gnawing at me.
Yeah, that was big. Anything else? We're missing something. Let's close this down and find it. That part of our beings are willing to inform the rest of us now.
That what part of our beings are willing to inform the rest of us now.
It's doing so now with unlimited love, grace, and ease.
It is doing so now with unlimited love, grace, and ease.
Our minds, bodies, and spirits are receiving the love,
Our mind, body, and spirit are receiving the love,
healing, information, permission.
healing, information, permission,
Hope you're not catching my cold. And deep relief now.
and deep relief now.
So let's take a deep breath. Information transfer is now complete.
Information transfer is now complete.
So be it, it is done.
So be it, it is done.
I got substandard. Substandard. Like our behavior is substandard. I'm going to have to look into that. What did you get?
I kind of got the same thing. I got laying down on a bed of hay and just being satisfied with, the least best thing you could find.
Oh, yeah,
Like
it's like
that sounds horrible, but
the path of least resistance. That's what this is. It's the path of least resistance. It's like milling around in suspended animation, right? It's just, it would help if I could spell. Yeah. All right. And my mouth went really dry, and that's not because of my cold. My right ear was burning, and now my chest and my throat feels heavy, right? Does anybody else have that? Heaviness on the chest and throat, cough. Okay, right. So we're here. Somebody's itchy. Oh goodness. That happens to me sometimes. And I find that when I get itchy, it's because the water in and around the body, of course, that is a conduit for electricity, and we're moving things around, we're moving energy around, and it tends to make it sort of dehydrated in parts, which is what's going on with the mouth at the moment. Okay, so let's tune in. Yeah, it's the path of least resistance, right? We have been so over traumatized to the point where we don't even want to try anymore. And that's not striking a balance, right? The balance, when you look at the people at the top, the balance is struck perfectly. They have enough trauma to make them really run towards their goals, unstoppable. They're going to make things happen, right? That's not what I'm picking up here. What I'm picking up here is we've been so over traumatized. It's like, yeah, we know, right? We've been so disciplined by trauma. Wow. Okay. Let's finish this out. There's a part of all of us that knows how to
There is a part of all of us that knows how to
let go and heal.
let go and heal.
This suspended animation,
This suspended animation,
always taking the path of least resistance.
always taking the path of least resistance.
We have been beat down by our trauma
We have been beat down by our trauma
in a way that it has disciplined us.
in a way that it has disciplined us.
We don't even want to try anymore.
We don't even want to try anymore.
We keep getting smackdowns from the universe.
We keep getting smackdowns from the universe.
We know our place.
We know our place.
What else?
Give me the worst option. It's all I deserve.
Yeah, give me the worst option. It's all I deserve. And I'm content with that.
I am content with that.
I don't need to struggle,
I don't need to struggle,
and I don't need to be motivated.
and I don't need to be motivated.
Goals are out of my reach.
Goals are out of my reach.
They're just a pipe dream.
They are just a pipe dream.
Ooh, I felt that leave. Anything else?
I cannot make important decisions,
I cannot make important decisions, nor do I want to.
nor do I want to.
I let the decisions be made by others,
I let the decisions be made by others.
or I let the universe decide what my path is.
I let the universe decide what my path is.
What else?
I keep getting dunked into water by the universe, and I can't swim.
I keep getting dunked into water by the universe and I cannot swim. I cannot love myself and I'm always self-criticizing.
I cannot love myself, and I'm always self-criticizing.
That also holds me in place of in the place, sorry. It makes me stagnant. It holds me in place.
It makes me stagnate and holds me in place.
Yes. Anything else? I feel pretty good, actually. I think we should stop while we feel good. That part of our beings are willing to inform the rest of us now.
That part of our beings are willing to inform the rest of us now.
It's doing so now with unlimited love, grace, and ease.
It is doing so now with unlimited love, grace, and ease.
Our minds, bodies, and spirits are receiving the love,
Our minds, body, and spirit are receiving the love,
healing, information, permission,
healing, information, permission,
and deep relief now.
and deep relief now.
So let's take a deep breath. Suddenly I can really breathe now. So I thank you all for that. Information transfer is now complete.
Information transfer is now complete.
So be it, it is done.
So be it, it is done.
All right. I feel good. I feel good. I feel like that lifted. I felt it leave. The pressure, yeah, everybody pressure relief while air in my lungs again. Yeah, we got there in the end. April, hello. Hey Candace. And yeah, so we're all feeling good. So we have to stop. um, let's close. So we're going to close it with the usual optimum guidance, positive emotional fulfillment, gratitude, self-love, self-forgiveness, forgiveness of others. Honestly, our list is just getting longer and longer and longer. And the optimum ability to send information to the soul that the setting up of the lifetime is extremely important and to understand the brain wiring and the connections. Okay? That's what I'm getting from George. So I'll go with what the CEO of CTT says. I used to call him the Chief Ascension Officer, the CAO, and he loved that name. All right, let's go. There's a part of all of us that knows how to
There's a part of all of us that knows how to
easily and joyfully manifest,
easily and joyfully manifest
optimum guidance,
optimum guidance,
positive emotional fulfillment,
positive emotional fulfillment,
gratitude,
gratitude,
self-love,
self-love,
self-forgiveness,
self-forgiveness,
forgiveness of others,
forgiveness of others,
and the optimum ability
and the optimum ability
to send all the information over to our souls
to send all of the information over to our soul,
that brain wiring
the brain wiring,
and the structuring of traumas
and the structuring of trauma
is extremely important
is extremely important
when contracting the lifetimes.
when contracting the lifetime.
And we urge them
And we urge them
to find out as much information
to find out as much information
as they can
as they can
about brain wiring
about brain wiring
in all of those wonderful spaces we just opened up.
in all of those wonderful spaces we've just opened up.
That part of our beings are willing to inform the rest of us now.
That part of our beings are willing to inform the rest of us now.
It's doing so now with unlimited love, grace, and ease.
It is doing so now with unlimited love, grace, and ease.
Our minds, bodies, and spirits are receiving the love,
Our minds, body, and spirit are receiving the love,
healing, information, permission,
healing, information, permission,
and deep relief now.
and deep relief now.
So let's take a deep breath. Oh my gosh, I felt this thing just roll over me like a sense of gratitude. Wow, I feel like that was a message from our souls. I don't know if you guys felt that. Information transfer is now complete.
Information transfer is now complete.
So be it, it is done.
So be it, it is done.
So I would just urge you all, because this was quite a heavy session and we did disclose that, there's a few addicts in the group, right? And I would just urge you all to think of them, send them a little prayer because they are struggling. And you have to recognize that the group work you're doing is not only helping yourself. You may not think the messages pertain to you in this particular lifetime, but they're pertaining to somebody in the group, right? Or out there listening to the recording, and you are helping them. And in turn, you are getting good karma, back. It will come back to you. So good karma is building in your karma bank. Thank you, Mr. Reality, and I'll hold for
See you
questions.
next time.